Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me on this Monday morning, guys. It's a great weekend for us, wasn't it? It was a fantastic weekend for Manchester United. Guys, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video. That'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. Let's delve straight into the news, shall we now? Those who followed Manchester United not Manchester United, was Stretford Post for a while would know that there's not many names that I haven't mentioned on the stream. I have mentioned a lot of names. There's been a lot of players that have been, a subject of transfer rumours with Manchester United, and not least with Keys Smith. Now, Keys Smith, I mentioned months ago on the channel, probably 2025, early 2025. I mentioned Keys Smith on this channel, right? And I was talking about Man United could possibly go in for this player. Man United have a transfer wish list that has not changed for the last, I say, year and a half. There is around 100 players on that wish list at the moment that Man United players, certain players that Man United are looking for. Now, Keys Smith represents a different type of target for Manchester United. And I know he's very young. He's 19 years old. He is a midfielder who currently plays for AZ Alkmaar, guys. Now, look, I know he's a young player. I know that generally when people think about the Dutch league and they think about we got Van der Beek and, people get a little bit PTSD when we're talking about these younger players that could be coming into Man United. But Keith Smith is an incredibly talented player. Real Madrid are also interested in this player at the moment. So Manchester United have to get a move on in regards to Keith Smith. Now, obviously, the Baleba deal has hit somewhat of a wall recently, especially the fact that Carlos Baleba has not been performing for Brighton. And a lot of people are putting into question Carlos Baleba's attitude, his mentality. And this is, I agree with this. I do agree with this. If you cannot pick yourself up for your football club, and I mentioned Gui yesterday about how Gui missed out on his dream move to Liverpool, but still picked himself up and performed for Crystal Palace. Now, Baleba has not been performed for Man United. So Man United are slyly, some may say, looking for alternatives for Baleba. Now, Keith Smith is one of those players, guys. He is an incredibly talented player, I would say. One of the top-rated midfielders at his age in Europe. He is worth around 10 million euros, guys, which is absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things. He is a central midfielder. He's just got a cap for the under 21s Holland team. He can play as an attacking midfielder as well. So that's very, very important. He's very, very experienced on under 21 level, under 19 level in regards to international football. But he will soon be a full international for the Dutch national team. What do we do in regards to the future of Manchester United? Who should we sign? What midfielder should we bring in? I think it's very important that Man United don't neglect what's up and coming, but also think about what's experience as well. What kind of experienced players are we going to get? Are we going to get any players for the now? And I think that's very important as well. We need to think about the now as well. Now, the problem with Carlos Baleba, as I just mentioned, obviously is the mentality. And there is a lot of questions about his mentality at the moment. An alternative for Manchester United and a gentleman who played incredibly well yesterday and a man that we've been mentioning on this show a number of times, guys. Another midfielder that Man United could be in for. And list, guys, Man United are not just in for one midfielder. They're in for a couple of midfielders at the moment. Man United want to completely rebuild that midfield. And I absolutely agree. We do need to rebuild the midfield. It is Lucien Agume. Now, Lucien Agume has been linked to Man United before. I mentioned him on the channel before many times. Manchester United are deemed to be front runners for Lucien Agume's signature. Now, he won't break the bank. He's not expensive at the moment. However, his price is rising by the day, by the week. With every fantastic performances that he's putting in, his price is rising significantly. It is deemed that Man United may make a move for Agume in January, guys. So that is very, very important. This will happen if Kobbie Mainoo leaves the football club. Kobbie Mainoo, of course, is out of favour by Ruben Amorim. Some may say it's unfair. I think it's unfair myself, the way he's been treated. But Kobbie Mainoo is deemed surplus to requirements in Ruben Amorim's eyes, and he wants another midfielder in there. we may be getting up to 2 midfielders by the summer, which is fantastic news for Manchester United. Agume is one of the players that Manchester United are very, very interested in. That's not to say that Man United do not have contingency plans, don't have other players on the radar. Baleba is still an interest for Man United. There is obviously Elliot Anderson as well, Yavi Guerra, Yora Giza. These players out there, Lamine Kamara, are players that are still showing the interest of Manchester United, gaining the interest of Manchester United. But Lucien Agume is moving up that list of priority signings for Manchester United as he continues to impress for Sevilla. And obviously, Sevilla defeated Barcelona yesterday by 4-1. And it was a fantastic performance from Sevilla. So, guys, lots of news coming out of United, and it is very interesting to see which direction Manchester United go, of course, and who we end up bringing in that midfield position. It does look like Man United will lose Casemiro in the summer. I do believe that Casemiro will be gone. I think he needs to go. I think he's very slow. Some may argue he's still our best midfielder. Is Casemiro our best midfielder? I'm not too sure about that, but it does look like he is finished in the Premier League, in my opinion. He's going to be good this season, but I just think he's too slow now and he can't keep up with the pace. And Man United can't keep a substitute as on 350,000+ a week, of course. So there is going to be a number of midfielders leaving Manchester United. That doesn't even take into question whether Bruno Fernandes will leave the football club as well, because obviously Bruno Fernandes is playing at the number 8. Will Bruno Fernandes go to Saudi Arabia? And will Man United end up selling Bruno Fernandes? It does all depend, guys. It does all depend on which direction that Manchester United want to go. And we have to wait and see in regards to that. I personally feel that if we got a 90 million offer for Bruno Fernandes in January, I personally feel that Man United should take that offer. That's what I think. And that's my opinion in regards to that. We can reinvest it on some midfielders that are up and coming, that are going to do a better job right now. You know, you think about Lucien Agume, of course, we're mentioning Elliot Anderson, we're mentioning Baleba, we're mentioning Keith Smith, we're mentioning all these midfielders that can come into Manchester United and quite possibly improve our balance, the balance of the side and the cohesion of the side and the chemistry of the side. Although I would say, guys, Man United still have Carlos Baleba at the top of their list in regards to midfield signings. He's still the man they want. However, I would say as the weeks go by and as he keeps getting substituted, the price and valuation of Carlos Baleba is going to keep decreasing, isn't it? It's going to keep decreasing. And no one right now will look at Carlos Baleba and say, give me 100 million. No way. It's not going to happen, is it? At the moment, you're looking at Baleba and he's a 50, 60 million player. And Man United, obviously, were quoted about 100, 115 million in the summer, wasn't it? Lots of big numbers were thrown out there during the summer. And look, you know, I know that Carlos Baleba is a fantastic player. We all know, and it's pretty obvious that Carlos Baleba's head has been turned by Manchester United, and he hasn't recovered from that. But this is all well and good, but I would call into question his mentality and his attitude. Because great players, they play regardless. You didn't make your move. You didn't get your move. Cristiano Ronaldo wanted to move to Real Madrid before he actually signed for Real Madrid. He promised Alex Ferguson promised Cristiano Ronaldo that if he plays for one more season, he'll get his dream move to Real Madrid. And he did get his dream move to Real Madrid, but he stayed an extra season at Man United, and he played fantastically well. You know, won a league title, etc., etc. You know, I think got the Champions League final as well. So, look, you know, you have to, attitude is a very important thing, especially right now at Man United. Man United don't need any more crybabies. They don't need any more petulance. We've had enough of that. We've had enough of the petulance. We've had enough of the crybabies and things. We need to start getting into the realms of, you know, being professional and being, you know, playing for your badge, basically. Now, Gary Neville said something yesterday about the team being weak and being called into question in regards to the media, being criticised by the media, looking for a scapegoat, the blame game, accountability. And I'm not going to give you the quote. You probably heard the quote, what Gary Neville said, basically, that they shouldn't be blaming people. They shouldn't be passing the buck to other players or the media or anyone else in regards to their own performances, because their duty is to win football matches. He brought in the past in regards to how Manchester United in 95, 96, you can't win anything with kids, put pressure on them, and they still managed to win a double, right? Now, what do I believe? What do I think of this? I agree with Gary Neville. Because when you're thinking about the match of the day, for example, match of the day, right? When Alan Hansen called out the Man United kids, basically, they can't win anything with kids, the class of 92. Match of the day was far bigger than social media. Match of the day was far bigger than any Twitter account and Instagram account out there. It was far bigger, right? It was the only source of goals and highlights in England, and and many millions around the world watch Match of the Day. So the pressure that was on them at that time was astronomical, and they got through it. Yes, I understand. Roy Keane, Steve Bruce, Peter Schmeichel, Ryan Giggs, Andy Cole, Eric Cantona were there, and I understand that is a big difference to it. But that is what we're talking about here: mentality, accountability, personalities that we have at this football club that are deemed experienced players, right? They're experienced. And all these experienced players are doing is throwing their rattles out their pram at the moment and just crying, every time they lose a game or they want to pass the buck, basically. A bit like what, who did to Lenny Euro the other day, of course. So, look, I agree with Gary Neville. Wholeheartedly agree with that. I don't agree with everything Gary Neville says, but I agree with that. I agree that these players need to be stronger mentality. They need to take accountability for their performances. Now, we had a great performance at the weekend. I'm delighted about the performance at the weekend. Superb, something to build on. But we know that this thing can change in a flip of a coin with Man United these days. With Man United these days, we can win a game against Liverpool. We might even go and beat Liverpool. Imagine that. And then we go and lose to Brighton. That's what Man United are like. Or we go and lose to West Ham. That's what we're like at the moment. So it's going to take a while for Man United to prove me wrong, to prove many people wrong, and to show me that they have the mentality. Showing accountability is one of those things. It's showing accountability for your own performance. You are going on the pitch. You are getting paid the big bucks. You are becoming a multi-millionaire at a very, very young age, that you and your family are sorted for life, right? So I don't want to hear any moaning about this, that, media saying this, they're saying that. So you don't want any criticism at all, no? You don't want any form of criticism at all. You have to be strong. If you cannot be strong at a club like Man United's not the club for you, in my opinion. And Gary Neville was absolutely spot on with that. Let me just say good morning. How you all doing to everyone? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the legends in the house, of course, and welcome to the members, of course, guys. Good to see you all in the house, of course, guys. Now, big up Johnny. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Crystal Palace is lurking to get him on the cheap, and they'll sell Walton for a fortune. Next to Keys might be going to Sal again for a big bucks. Why not United go straight into AZ? Because we've been here before, John AI. We've been here with Van der Beek. Van der Beek was nominated for a Ballon d'Or. You know what I mean? And we've been here before. So obviously in the Dutch league, it's completely different, brother. And this is my argument towards it. It's completely different. The Dutch league is not the Premier League. And it will be extremely difficult for a player like Keys Smith to come to Manchester United at this present moment in time, given the problems that we have at Man United and given how difficult the Premier League is. I'm not opposed to the signing. I think he's a 19-year-old, still a lot to prove. AZ Alkmaar, they're like, they're all right. They're all right team. They're not one of the big guns. They're probably the third, fourth biggest team in Holland. And Keith Smith has done well. He's done well. He's cheap. Man United could do the deal, might do the deal. You never know. But is he one of the biggest talents in Europe at the moment? Not yet. And what Man United need in that midfield is talent. And I feel like he would do brilliantly, but I don't think he's quite ready for the Premier League yet. And that's my opinion. I think I've looked at Keith Smith for 1 year, AI. 1 year. I don't just look at people from highlights on YouTube. I actually know who the player is. I've spoke about him before. People know it is, including you. And I know he's a good player. He's still very, very raw. And I don't want to get in the situation of Donny van der Beek. I know the situation is different. I know I'm not going to paint him with the same brush. He's Dutch and da-da-da. But in my opinion, it's going to be a huge step up for Keith Smith to come to Manchester United. But it's not in the realms of impossibility. And if Man United are interested in him, I believe in what Ruben Amorim wants. And if Ruben Amorim wants Keith Smith, that would be absolutely fantastic. At the moment, however, Adam Wharton is a 10 times better player right now. Much better player. Much better player than Keith Smith. All right? He's a fantastic player. He's the reason, one of the most biggest reasons the Crystal Palace are doing so well is Adam Wharton. And I've said this many times. I actually feel that Adam Wharton is one of the top talents in Europe. There's a difference here, isn't it? It depends what you want. Adam Wharton, guys, is a generational, and he's wanted by Real Madrid right now. And I would love Adam Wharton. He would be my top choice as a midfielder right now, because I believe that Alex Ferguson would have signed Adam Wharton if he was still here. He's an ex-Keysmith, attacking midfielder. They are two different players, by the way. I would point it out. Adam Wharton and Keysmith, they're completely different players. Keysmith is more of an attacking player. Adam Wharton is a defensive player, a very defensive player, and that's one thing I would point in as well. Good morning, Sanjay. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good morning, Stephen. How you doing, my bro? I hope you're doing well. Big up, Metal. How you doing? It's good to see you again, my friend. Good morning, Benny. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you as well, brother. Gary, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing good. Good to see you, Sal. Now that we finally won the agenda's already shifted to why isn't Xerxes starting? Man United can never win Metal. I said it yesterday that no matter what Man United do, we're not going to be accepted by the media. We're not going to be accepted by, whether we win 5 games in a row, or we lose 5 games in a row, it's going to be the same narrative. They'll find something to pick at Man United. They will always do that. Now, the narrative is that, I don't like the way the Ruben Amorim says this. I don't like the way Ruben Amorim talks about this and blah, blah, blah. And some of the content creators out there are playing their part in that. I have to say, some of them are playing their part in that. They're feeding like a dog on a bone. They're feeding the media to that. And some of them who are so-called Man United fan content creators are the ones that are feeding into that narrative. You know what I mean? So, and they're just as much to blame. Big up, Metal. To bed in young players, we need leaders, winners that call out. If not, players will throw in under the bus like literally. Absolutely. I don't think Bruno's a captain. I think many people agree with me that Bruno isn't a good captain. I saw some characteristics at the weekend where he crossed the ball to Sesko and Sesko wasn't there and he's throwing his arms around. He was disagreeing with the manager. He was doing all sorts of things. Man United don't need these characters in the ground. No matter how good you deem these players to be, we don't need these characters. We don't need these players anymore. These players that are petulant, these players that are blaming accountability. This is exactly what Gary Neville was saying. And I think it was absolutely spot on in regards to that. Look, players these days need to take accountability for themselves, right? If a player is out of favor, prove the manager wrong. My only concern with what is going on at the moment is Bruno Fernandes. And why does he play every single game? Main who deserves a chance. He shouldn't be playing number 8 again and again and again. And I've spoken about Luke Shaw as well, Dalot as well. These players shouldn't be playing for Man United anymore, in my opinion. I think we need to move on and we need to stop with this, this nostalgic player FC sort of mentality that a lot of the fan base have. They much rather throw the manager under the bus than a player. And that shows you who they are at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I do believe that Alicia would be a great captain. He was a captain at Ajax, of course. I think Licha would be a great captain if Licha was fit, that would be great. But he's not fit enough, I don't think. I think Licha is the next one through. And guys, look, I know that Cunha has not played well so far this season. I believe in Cunha. I believe Cunha is the guy. I believe Cunha is better than Mason Mount. I believe that. But he's taken his time to get bedded into the team. And I think he should be the long-term solution. I actually believe that Cunha is a good captain. I think his attitude is second to none. Trust me, I think he has a fantastic attitude. I really do. We need for young players the likes of De Ligt. I need to help lead them and be calling out when they play well. Yep. I think that they do call them out, but Bruno does call out young players, but he calls them out in the wrong way. As we know, he called out Lenny Yoro. Gary Neville had winners in the dressing room to help them. Schmeichel, King, Cantona to help them. He did have winners in the dressing room, but none of those players, the winners in the dressing room, took accountability. Right? They're the experienced players in the dressing room. Who's the experienced player in our dressing room? What? Bruno? Does he take accountability? No. So we're not talking about the young players here. We're actually talking about the experienced players as well. We're not just talking about young players. Accountability. We got Bruno who's not taking accountability. So that's what we're talking about. So what Gary Neville said was absolutely the gospel, absolutely spot on. What is spot on? At the end of the day, let's not make excuses for these players. You know what I mean? The older ones are not taking accountability. So let's not even talk about young players at the football club right now, because the older ones are not taking accountability. And that is what we're talking about at the moment. Big up Keith. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. United need to sign Wootton. It'll be a great signing, my friend. An absolutely brilliant signing. Big up, Mamisi Forever. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Of course, good to see you. Beanie will ask for a lot of... yes, that he would. Of course he would. 70, 80 million at least, I think, with add-ons and stuff like that, in my opinion. Baleba wants to come to a real football club. He realises to play for Tesco FC, who's profiting from him while he's compensating him right. We should welcome him. No, Sir Alex there. To treating him right. At the end of the day, we have to look at things, Gary, from a point of view of intelligence, right? We all get excited by Baleba, right? But Baleba needs to sort out his performances. He needs to sort out his performances. He needs to get himself ready before he starts, talking about Man United. You're only as good as your last game. And that's what I would say. And for the last few games, he's been poor. He's been substituted. And that calls into question his attitude. That calls into question his mentality. And we need to look at that. We can't just sign Baleba for a big bunch of money if he's got a bad attitude. Right? If he's got this attitude where I don't want to play, I'm sulking on the pitch because I didn't get my big move to Man United. Man United don't need that. Man United need characters. Man United needed Adam Wharton, people like that, who are willing to play for the club. I would much rather have Keith Smith than Baleba, a player who wants to play for the football club and wants to play for his current football club as well and has a great attitude, rather than having Baleba, who's probably a better player, but his attitude is all over the place at the moment and he's let the transfer going to Man United get to his head. You know what I mean? Which he has, quite obviously. Marky Mark, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. Morning, Sal, and the community. How are you, man? Very well, brother. Hope you're doing well. Massively in need of talent in midfield. I'm getting tired of Bruno. Me too, mate. I'm getting tired of his petulance. I'm getting tired of hearing about him throwing his arms in the air, moaning at the manager, moaning at certain players, not taking accountability for his own performances. And let's be real, guys. At the weekend, we had a decent performance. It's a relatively calm performance for Manchester United, but he still was one of the worst players on the pitch. And I don't like to bring that in. I don't like to blame players, but he was alongside Shaw and Dalot. Those three, those are the bomb squad right there. Those three right there, the bomb squad right there. Those are the three. We still got members of the bomb squad right there. Do you know what I mean, guys? MC Forever, can we not sign Angelo Stillaway's the new cruise? He can create them from deep, and which Bruno cannot. We can go midfielder also. Angelo Stiller is a fantastic player. MUC Forever. A lot of people were talking about his pace and all that nonsense. He's a great player. And Man United are interested in Angelo Stiller. And it's exactly what I said at the top of the show. Man United have around 100 players on their transfer wish list. One of them is Angelo Stiller. I was the first one, again, to mention Angelo Stiller nearly a year ago now. And I am aware of Angelo Stiller and aware that Man United are still interested in Angelo Stiller at the moment, as is a number of other clubs, including Real Madrid, are interested in Angelo Stiller. Fantastic player at Stuttgart. Absolutely dominates the game, can pass the ball. He's controlling of the game is fantastic. His reading of the game is fantastic. A great player. And I wouldn't be opposed to that move, my friend, but we'll have to wait and see when the transfer window opens, of course. Big up, Pearl. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Milton, it will be very helpful to get a midfielder with the speed and skill required there. Absolutely. Athleticism as well. Absolutely, Milton. LT, good morning. How you doing? Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Do you think we should still get Baleba after his below board performances due to the distracted but a move to us? Shouldn't his professionalism be questioned? And it's not yeah, LT. And you heard me on the show. I've been talking about that. That is a red flag. And I think people need to be aware of that. Look, before the season started, we're big fans. We're all Balebas. We're all Balebas. We all want Baleba. Everyone's talking about Baleba. Get Baleba. Get Baleba. Get Baleba. But I was also trying to bring the reality down to a level of the ground level where, you know what, he's had one good season. Let's wait and see. His head has been turned. That is a red flag. It wouldn't be a red flag if he was performing for Brighton and he was doing his job like Gui is doing. He didn't get his move to Liverpool. It actually was a here we go with Gui. And he's not performing, Baleba, and he's been substituted at the moment. It is a red flag, and we have to be careful with that. There are a number of midfielders out there at the moment that will fit the bill at Manchester United, that will do a good job in that midfield. Baleba is not the only player in the world, right? There are other players in there. Look at Lucien Agume as well. Look at these players. Look at Lamine Kamara. Look at him. You know, there's players all around Europe. Like we mentioned, Keith Schmidt, look at him. Well, a lot cheaper as well. You know, Brighton are holding on for dear life for him. Maybe they were wrong to hold on to Baleba, but it was up to Baleba to make the choice. It was up to Baleba to come out and say, I want to move to Manchester United. He should have said, I want to be transfer listed. I want to move to Man United. And he didn't do that. And now he's performing badly for Brighton. And every single game, his valuation is dropping. This is why Brighton and Hove Albion are desperate to sell Baleba in January. They want to sell Baleba in January. And how many suitors will there be, guys? How many people are going to come out with the money that they want now? If it gets to December, January, and Baleba's still giving these subpar performances, mate, I don't think many people are going to be... I don't think there'll be a queue of people vying for the signature of Baleba if it carries on like this. Big up, LT. Even Lemens was shouting at the defender at the last. We finally got a goalkeeper. Absolutely. Absolutely. I told you guys about Lemens. Now it's a popular thing to do, isn't it, man? Look, listen, Stretford Post all day long, mate. 1 year I've been saying that about Senny Lemens, that he's older than his age. He's not young. He's got a head screwed on. People say, but he doesn't come out for crosses, Sal. He comes for crosses. He makes saves. He pounds it away from the goal. He doesn't pound it in front of the player like Anana does. There we go. I'm happy. I'm happy people see it now. I'm happy people see it. Finally, people are seeing it, what I saw a year ago. Mount goal was a good goal. Man, maybe Cunha is better, but Brentford, he was taking shot rather than passing. We have to understand him, you see, forever. He's not, don't paint him with the Garnacho brush. That's not fair. We have to understand that he wants to prove himself at Man United. He's new at Man United. He's new. And he will get into the groove of things very, very soon. Mason Mount's been there over a year. You can't compare the two at the moment. Mason Mount was poor last season, all right? Mason Mount's been poor for Man United since he signed for Man United, if he plays for Man United. So let's not talk about Mason Mount, because Mason Mount has been poor signing for Man United overall. Cunha will get to his ability. I'm not going to paint him with the same brush as Garnacho. That's not a very nice thing to do. It's unfair on Cunha. He's only had 6-7 games for Man United, so we can't say that. Mount has been there over a year, been injured most of the time. You can count on one hand how many good performances he's had, and he's always liable to have an injury down the road. And that's what I would say about that. Cunha will come good. Believe in Cunha. I believe Cunha will come good, and he will impress Man United. Wolverhampton Wanderers will tell you that. He's an absolute phenomenal player. But not every player settles down straight away. We can't paint every player with the same brush. Garnacho was there for years, a couple of years, 2-3 years, and, we all know what happened. John O'Connell, big up. Did you get Baleba and turn him crap? Do we want that player? Did we get in Baleba? Look, I would say that time is an evanescence, and we're going to get educated as every game comes by. If he keeps underperforming, I don't think Man United are going to go for him to transfer. I think and that's understandable, because he has to keep performing for his football club. When you don't perform for the football club, you're only as good as your last game, and then every single time he underperforms, his valuation is going to drop, and the interest for him is going to come low and low and low. And it's very hard, guys. Remember, it's very hard to pick it up again and to get going again. You know what I mean? In regards to that, your confidence can be so low, it's very hard to retrieve it. I'm not saying he's not a great player, but he does need to pick up his attitude, and he does need to start playing for Brighton. It is a red flag. I absolutely agree with that. Daryl, what's going on, my brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Baleba, 40-50 million max. I'd rather take that Wharton all day long. Wharton is probably, my opinion, top 5 midfielders in Europe at the moment, in my opinion. And I think we should go tooth and nail for Wharton. I really do think that. Baleba, 50 million. I absolutely agree with that. The 115 million, some were saying 130 million, some were saying absolutely disgraceful. Thank God we did not sanction a deal for that. And I did say it. No, that's too much money for him. Right now, his valuation is 50 million. And that is Brighton's fault. That's not Man United's fault. That's Brighton's fault. That is Brighton's fault. If they were realistic in the beginning, they might have got more money for him. I can't see Baleba going now for 100 million. Absolutely not. Thank you so much, Emmy forever, my brother. Good to see you as well, of course. Sal, do you think we actually have a chance at Anfield? Honestly, I'd be happy if we just away the draw. Metal, we're Man United. I know we're not the Man United that we used to be, but I've never gone into games believing that we couldn't possibly win a game. I always think about different scenarios that a game can bring. And I think if Man United keep it tight, if Man United are hard to beat, who knows what could happen? We drew there 2-2 last season, and we should have won 3-2. Harry Maguire missed an open goal, didn't he? So I would say that, yes, I believe, Metal. I would believe. Would I be happy with a draw? I'll be content with a draw. Yeah, I will be satisfied with that. As long as we go out of that game without a defeat, I'm happy with that. And that'll be great because then we can move on to the next game. However, my biggest problem is not the Liverpools of this world. It's not the Chelseas of this world. It's the Brightons, it's the Newcastles, it's the Tottenhams of this world. Those are the games that I worry about somewhat more. Some may say even West Ham, because we don't do well against West Ham recently, especially at the London Stadium. We don't do well at West Ham, you know? So I'm worried about that as well. I'm worried about those teams. So if we come out with a draw against Liverpool, I'm focusing on beating Brighton, beating West Ham, beating Tottenham. These teams that we need to beat if we're serious about coming in that top 5. Guys, we've got a lifeline here. We've got a lifeline because most teams in the Premier League at the moment are dropping points. They're dropping points, and we got a lifeline. We're not far off there, guys. We're 6 points. What? 6 points from Liverpool? Guys, 5 points from Liverpool. 5 points from Liverpool. 5. 7 points from the top. Do you think that is impossible? Leagues have been lost with 8-point leads in January. Right? Man United would know that. Absolutely. Big up, Metal. Good to see you. Dan Bro, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Sal. Man United have 2 weeks to get ready for the biggest game of the season so far. A Liverpool team that have lost their last 3 games. What's your thoughts on that? That can work both ways, Dan Bro. I would say that. I mean, Liverpool could be like, that's it, have the grit between their teeth and say, that's it. We lost 3 games in a row. We're going to teach Man United a lesson. Or they could be very, very low in confidence and not clicking as a team like they used to. And Man United take advantage of it. It's very, very uncertain how this game is going to go. I hope that Man United turn up. That's why I think if Man United turn up against Liverpool, I don't think it's in the realms of impossibility that Man United could win this game. I think they can. And I believe they can. And I will always believe that Man United can do it. We have to believe, guys. We're not going to believe. Who is going to believe at the end of the day? And I believe that Man United can go to Anfield and get a historical win. This Liverpool team at the moment, I know it's overreaction. I know that a lot of people are overreacting for their losses. I think they should have beaten Chelsea at the weekend. They had opportunities when Chelsea were attacking. They could have picked them up, but they're picking the wrong ball. I do believe that the Liverpool now, as opposed to the Liverpool of last season, are completely different. I think that now they got players that are trying to bed themselves into the team, and the camaraderie and the chemistry between the players is not quite there. Whereas in previous years, they can play with their eyes closed. They know you know that Robinson's going to go there. You know that Ruiz is going to go there. You know that Salah's going to go there. You know what I mean? And I don't think they have that at the moment. And I think that Man United have gone to Anfield and got a draw last season when Liverpool were at probably their best. Why can't we do it this season when they're at their worst? And that's what I would say. You know, why not? And hopefully we can. Good morning, fan. How you doing, my bro? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. 83 in the house, guys. Benny, thank you. 15 likes, guys. We need to get to 50 likes before the end of the show. That is the Breaking Dawn motto, guys. 50 likes before the end of the show, guys. 90 in the house. Come on, guys. Let's get it on, guys. Absolutely. Irfan, PGMO admitting the Brentford player had to be sent off. They also admit Arsenal's goal should have stood. Well, it's too late now. Should not have stood. Yeah, look, it's too late now. Irfan, you know what I think, Irfan? I think that when these things happen, right, when referees make a mistake, either they replay the game or they give Man United a point. I think they've got to do something about it, because what does that benefit Man United? If Man United, right, miss out on a Champions League spot, a Europa League spot by 1 point, are the PGMO going to come to Man United and say, here's that 50 million you missed out on? Are they going to do that? They're not going to do that, are they? So I personally believe when referees make mistakes, something needs to happen in retrospective. Something needs to happen because it's not fair. The referee made a mistake. He admits he made a mistake. There's VAR. There's no way to make a mistake. They've got every single opportunity there to look at VAR, right? And they refused to do that. So in my opinion, when you don't look at VAR, you refuse to look at VAR and didn't give the penalty, and VAR didn't give the penalty, then I believe the game should be replayed or you give Man United points. You know, and that's what I believe. And look, we should have drew against Arsenal at least. We should have drew against Brentford at least. We might have beaten Brentford because they should have been down to 10 men, right? We should have beaten them at least, or at least drawn against them. And it's a disgrace. Right? And when then every single person around will be singing from a different hymn sheet about Ruben Amorim, etc. And that is the thin threads in football, isn't it? That's the fine lines in football, isn't it, guys? It's the fine lines, you know? This should be retrospective, though. Again, Liverpool will need Maguire, De Ligt, Bruno, or our leadership group to stand up and motivate our players, as Anfield is a tough place to go. Again, Liverpool, we don't need Maguire. We don't need Bruno, mate. We don't need none of those players, mate. We don't need those players, brother. They're the worst of the bunch you mentioned there. They shouldn't be the leadership group. F that leadership group. It's the wrong leadership group. Daryl, Lamens has to stay in goal. He proved he has that one. I believe just need to drop Shaw, Dalot, Bruno, and Heaven. Absolutely, bruv. Absolutely. And those are saying that play Maguire. I don't think you're watching the game, mate. I really don't. Lenny Euro is absolutely fantastic at the weekend again. And if we had Lenny Euro instead of Maguire against Brentford, we would have won the game. That is it. That is as simple as that, guys. We would have won the game. Bruno will play against Liverpool, no doubt about that. Whether he should play number 8 or not doesn't matter because he's going to play there anyway. Whatever I say. But I would say that, no, Maguire shouldn't be playing in that game. No way. But, you never know what happens. Big up, Daryl. Separating last season's results to the start of this season, and you would notice Ruben Amorim did bring something to United. Of course he has. People have agendas. They don't want to admit that, fan. They don't want to admit what they're seeing at the end of the day. We've been a little bit unlucky as well. This isn't preventing us from putting 6 in the net. I know, mate. I know, it's stupid. Milton, I wonder if it's possible to get required midfielder player ASAP in January. I mean, I don't know, mate. What I would say about that is that this is the fiscal year. The fiscal year, obviously, is that how Man United work on. Man United and Ineos work on the fiscal year. Spending a lot of money on a player, I don't think Man United are going to do that. The only reason I think Man United are going to do that if Kobe Mainoo leaves. That's it. And even then, I believe that Man United will go after a player like Ruben Neves on loan or something of that ilk. I wouldn't be opposed to that because I think Ruben Neves is a fantastic player. But I think that is what Man United could possibly do a Ruben Neves deal or something like that. Dan bro, Amorim said Manu is fighting for his Bruno's place, but he subs Mount for Mainoo, and both players are on the pitch at the same time. Yeah, I agree with that, Dan bro. I think that it's not fair. What has been going on with Kobe Mainoo at the moment is not fair, in my opinion. It's not sportsmanship. I don't think there's been a fair team selection. I don't think players are being played based on performances. I think players are being based on who they are, mates rates, favoritism. And that is where we get into the dangerous grounds, isn't it? Because Kobe Mainoo is a very good player and we're just completely neglecting him. And I think that's wrong to play Bruno. And what mentality does this send out to the rest of the players? It makes the rest of the players and the rest of the squad feel like, oh, well, he can play badly, so why should I play good? I know it's wrong. I know that is not what a lot of the players do, but it does send out that message, doesn't it? If Bruno Fernandes can continue to have poor performances and still play and be the captain and take penalties and take corners and take free kicks, then why am I even bothering? You know what I mean? And that's what I would say about it. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Keith, if United manage to qualify for the Champions League, I can see Major clear out Casemiro, Bruno, Maguire, Dalot, Onana, Xerxes will be moved on. I hope so, brother. I hope so, Keith. I do feel, however, a little bit sorry for Xerxes. I think, again, Xerxes hasn't been given a fair crack at the whip as well. I think that he deserves a little bit more chances as well. At the end of the day, Irfan, again, United do not have a good record coming from international draw. Irfan, we've spoken about that 1,000 times, mate. Now, Sanjay, Liverpool are for the taking. They are, I agree. Even Salah form is dipping. Last game, let's hope he doesn't regain his form against Man United. You know what Liverpool do, isn't it? It's Man United against Liverpool at the end of the day. Can't stand Salah when he plays against Man United. I really can't. But hopefully Man United, I believe, and I think everyone else should as well. If we are beating Arsenal and Fulham, we would be joint top at the moment. Any consistency puts you at the top at the moment. Exactly, Dan, bro. This is how thin line football is. This is how thin football is, mate. Football, if that goal against Arsenal was called as a foul, as it should have been, the minimum Man United would have got is a draw. I felt Man United were playing good in that game, and Man United could quite possibly have won the game as well, because obviously, if Arsenal didn't score that goal, Arsenal don't go with 6 at the back, right? Man United would still been attacking, and you never know, Man United might have won the game. The Fulham game was a disaster. We missed a penalty. The goal for Fulham was a mistake from Bruno and Dalot, the two leadership group, of course, guys. And Bruno got intimidated by a referee, which he shouldn't have done. If he was intimidated, he should have gave the penalty to either Mbeumo or Cunha. And that's what should have happened, right? And we won't be in this position right now. Man United would be way up the league right now. Way up the league, guys. We would have, look, minimum Man United would have, look, 6 more points. We won't be top, but we'll be second. If we beat Arsenal and we beat Fulham, we will have how many points more? No, we drew against Fulham, so we'll have 5 more points. We'll have 5 more points if we beat Arsenal and drew against Fulham. Oh no, actually we won against Fulham, didn't we? So yeah, so we got a point against, so it's 5 points. So yeah, we'll be second around that. So we're 7 points from the top at the moment. Benny, if our current squad can't be up for a game versus their big rivals, they have no business. Absolutely. PGMO FC, luck run out. Big up, absolutely, mate. I mean, don't be surprised if they come back against Man United with the VAR decision. I hope not. Fingers crossed, guys. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Sorry, I meant the Arsenal goal should not have stood because of Saliba's foul on Mount. My mistake. We know, Irfan. We know. We're stating the obvious here, mate. This is what I've been talking about. You know. Add input, guys. Input. Kenny, you're just feeding in. Guys, also remember Liverpool lost 3 in a row and Amram has never lost 3 in a row, but get battered every time we lose. And yet, I know, mate, but that's Man United for you. Man United, hated, adored, never ignored, mate. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Hated, adored, never ignored. Joe. Morning, Sal. I truly believe we can beat them because for me, Alisson is not the same as he was, and Liverpool. Alisson is injured. Mamardashvili will be playing, Joe. He's injured. Mamardashvili played in the last game against Chelsea, and he had a good game, to be fair. Mamardashvili will be playing, mate. Yeah, guys, look, you know what? I don't repeat what I say on this show, but people are repeating what I said. We know that I spoke earlier about the goal shouldn't have stood against Arsenal. I spoke about it and I spoke about how many points we get. I said it 1,000 times, you know. But guys, input. Good morning, Sal. What is your thought of Gary Neville saying if the player fear criticism? Just mentioned that earlier in the show, mate. Spoke about it, my friend. De Ligt is not that bad, not bad. He's a good captain, I think. De Ligt has been arguably our best player all season, has been top class and should be the first player team sheet every game. I think he's been brilliant. I don't think I don't get what the criticism is, Benny, in my opinion. Absolutely. Seems like no Carabao Cup games means no minutes for Heaven, Obi, or Mainu, Amram, Dalot. It's a shame. It's a shame, Gary. It is a shame, in my opinion. I would have liked to see some of those players coming out, guys. Absolutely. Let me see forever. Benny, I took the De Ligt name in that leadership. He should be, Benny. He should be. Absolutely should be. He should be in that leadership group. So should Cunha and players like that. Mark, if VR mistakes are just luck, why don't City get any? And City have actually won 2 or 3 games because of them? Absolutely. I don't think there's any excuses to make mistakes, guys. I don't think there is. Metal. Sal, once AFCON starts, we're losing our entire right-hand side. Mbeumo, Ahmed, and Mazraoui will be gone. We should seriously reinforce them. I agree, Metal. This is a concern of mine at the moment. It is a concern, and I believe that we should be doing reinforcements, even if it is alone. Ruben Neves, someone like that, even if it is that, in my opinion, guys, absolutely. LT. We can't play Dalot in the Liverpool game, otherwise I don't see us getting a result. He will play left wing back, mate. I got a feeling LT is going to play left wing back, in my opinion. Absolutely. MUC forever. We cannot beat Liverpool with a long throw. We have to attack them, keep the ball in their half, and the same that make Mamardashvili uncomfortable and technically uncomfortable and technically, of course, Cunha, we have to feed Sesko. I agree. We have to feed Sesko. I don't think any of our players are really feeding Sesko apart from Mbeumo at the moment. And that's the thing, you know. And Mbeumo's been brilliant. Out with the old, in with the new. Absolutely, Sanjay, I agree with that. I think Man United need an out with the old, in with the new, you know. There's some people on this channel who are big advocates of Dalot. And I told people about Dalot many, many times. You know, many people are bigging up. No one's come on this channel and say, Sal, apologize about Dalot. You were right. Irfan. You know what I mean? And things like that. You know what I mean? A poor player. Morning, Neil. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. guys? Hope you're good. Yeah, hope you're good, guys. Yeah, I'll read out every single one person's comments. Really appreciate everyone's in the chat, but please don't copy what I'm saying, guys, and then act like, you know what I mean? And then say, oh, it drives me mad. Because I repeat myself, you know, I ain't got time to repeat myself. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but I appreciate everyone, guys. Ephraim, Sal, how Dalot is starting games, do you think is a trust experienced players? Sal, Dalot is starting, I mean, I think it's a little bit of favoritism, Ephraim, in my opinion. I think there is a little bit of favoritism there, you know what I mean? And I think that Ruben Amorim is showing a little bit of unfairness to other players in the squad. I know that we don't have much choice when it comes to the wing-back positions, but Dorgu is a specialised wing-back, so is Diego Leon, and both of those are better than Dalot at left-back, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Guys, big up Emil forever, big up my guy, big up. Dan, bro, Sunderland manager said our right side attack was unplayable. Wonder if Ruben heard that. Oh, God, blimey. Yeah, it was unplayable. Ahmed had a great game. Not a great game, a good game. No assists or goals, but he pressed very, very well, in my opinion. Benny, be interesting to see how the so-called best centre-back ever deals with Sesko's physicality. Yeah, I mean, best centre-back ever. Not even in the top 10, mate. It's ridiculous. Some of the recency bias that happens at Manchester United is crazy. Recency bias, mate. That happens at Man United is absolutely mad. That happens in the Premier League. It is recency bias. He's far from it. I can name a lot of players that are better than De Ligt right now. You know what I mean? Vidic, Stam, Pallister, Bruce, all better than him. LT, these palette players are not experienced players, but experienced failures and consistently inconsistent. Exactly, LT. This is why they should never be in a leadership group. There should never be a leadership group that has players that are experienced at losing, in my opinion. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Gary, I watched the Chelsea game, saw Garnacho take two first half dives with no yellow cards. You know what I mean? Garnacho had a poor game yesterday again. I mean, hooked, wasn't he? He came off the pitch. He was hooked, and I felt he had a poor game again. And no one's mentioning that, isn't it? People only want to mention, oh, my God, look at Rasmus. Oh, my God, look how he's cooking in Italy. Oh, my goodness me, look at Rashford. Look how he's cooking in Spain. Cooking? I don't know, but man, the only thing they're cooking is bloody beans on toast, because at the end of the day, it's a different league, a different scenario. And, people are not mentioning the likes of Sancho. They don't mention the likes of Martial. They don't mention the likes of Garnacho. They don't mention these players, do they, when they're talking about that? It's just they want things to fit a narrative at the end of the day. Hello, Sal. I'm not happy with Amorim substituting the back three. De Ligt is our centre-back, not a right centre-back. Yeah, I was a bit confused about that, Emiski. I don't think he should be moving the defence too much. I thought it was unnecessary bringing in Harry Maguire for that game and moving De Ligt into the right centre-back. It's exactly what he did against Brentford. I think if you're going to make a change in the centre-back positions, bring on a young defender. Bring on someone who's there for the future. You know, like I was talking yesterday about Wesley Brown, when Wesley Brown used to come on, do you know what I mean? And I was talking about him, and I was saying that, he was brought on here and there. He was rotated in the squad and things like that. And he ended up becoming a great player for Man United. I think if you're going to make substitutions unnecessarily, by the way, in the centre-back positions, bring on a Fredrickson, bring on a Kalungi, bring on someone like that who's one for the future. Give him a little bit of experience, in my opinion. That's what I would say. But I don't know why he keeps doing that. I don't know why. And especially moving De Ligt into the right centre-back and Maguire into centre-back, which didn't work against Brentford. I don't know. I don't understand it. Sal, I'm on about Virgil Vez in my last comment. Your last comment, Benny. It'd be interesting to see how the so-called best centre-back does about Sesko's physicality. Yeah, I'm talking about him being the best best centre-back ever, mate. Come on, Benny, listen up, brother. And he's not the best centre-back ever. I know you're being sarcastic, but I'm talking about why he's not the best centre-back. I'm just bringing that in. You know what I mean? It will be interesting to see his physicality. And Sesko needs to give him a hard time at the weekend. I think next weekend. I think it's next weekend, the game. A week after. 2 weeks, bloody hell. Hopefully he does give him a hard game. Sal, Van Dijk is lucky to play in this era. Yeah. Exactly what I was saying earlier. Exactly that. He's lucky. There's no players there that right now who play against the likes of imagine they played against the likes of Didier Drogba, Alan Shearer, Andy Cole, Robbie Fowler, Stan Collymore. You know, imagine they played against the likes of that. I mean, anyone who thinks that football has not regressed is mad, or just plain biased. In the end of the day, guys, as just plain biased. You know what I mean, guys? Look, guys, I really hope that Man United win against Liverpool. We're going to be building up for that every day. It gets closer. We're going to get more anxiety about the Liverpool game. I think Man United can win this game. I think we can. I'm going to put my head out there. I think we can win this game. I don't think we should be pessimistic. I think we should be Asprey. I liked. I mean, guys, look, people talk about football these days and football back in the 90s. They say, oh, but football's better these days. Oh, football's better. No, it's not. No, it is not. They're more athletic, maybe more fitter, but talent-wise, it's not. You just look at and someone said, oh, but look at Newcastle. And then I say, yeah, Newcastle. The Newcastle had Les Ferdinand, Faustino Asprilla, David Ginola, Alan Shearer. Come on, man. Gary Speed. Nah, man. Football has regressed immensely. I would go as to say that even a team like Southampton in the 90s could win this Premier League. And that is how good. That is how football has regressed, in my opinion. Gary, love the West Brown. You're the only one out there. Bigs up him as he deserves. I mean, not many people remember him, Gary. And let's not forget he assisted the 2008 Champions League goal for Man United, or Cristiano Ronaldo header. No, I rate all our players who succeeded at Man United. Every single player that succeeded at Man United, whether it's Luke Chadwick, Ben Thornley, whoever it is, I still show them the green. Jonathan Greening, whoever it is, they all played their part in Man United being the most successful Man United of all time. And I will always give their props and I'll always sing their praises whenever I get an opportunity, because I believe that I feel lucky to have privilege to be witnessed what I witnessed. And I thank every single one of those players, as well as Sir Alex Ferguson as well. West Brom will always be underrated because he was a very, very underrated kind of player. But people forget about West Brom, how his versatility, right back, centre back, was very, very, very good. And people don't like to bring up these names, unfortunately. But I would like always to talk about the past and stuff like that. It's better talking about West Brom than people repeating me. And you know what I mean? And then people agreeing with it. Oh, yeah, not listening, you know what I mean? And that's it. I mean, I love speaking about nostalgic things. I do. I love speaking about nostalgia. I love speaking about Manchester United, guys. You know what I mean? I do. I do love speaking about Man United. And I love speaking about the players of the past. Why not? Because it gave us our most joyful moments in our history, guys. It really did. And West Brom is highly underrated, as well as many other players are as well. And I mentioned, obviously, Henning Berg, David May, even those kind of players, you know what I mean, who gave us great times, you know what I mean, and played their part, every single one of them, you know. And I will always big up Gary, though. Big up Gary. Glad you acknowledge it, my friend. Good to acknowledge it. Thank you so much, my brother. Hope you're well. Yes, guys. So it is international week at the moment, and England are playing England ball. I'm not entirely impressed with the England squad. It's a little bit boring, to be honest with you. I still believe that even if Kobe Mainoo is not playing in Man United's team, I still think he should be picked in the England team ahead of Henderson. You know what I mean? I think that's ridiculous. But it is what it is. We have to wait up to 10 days. How many days do we have to wait, guys, until the next Man United game? Is it 2 weeks? It's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? 2 weeks, we have to wait for the next Man United game. Goodness me. I can't wait that long, guys. I don't think I can wait that long for the Liverpool game. You know what I mean? It's going to be mad. You know, international break. We've got another international break in November as well. It's crazy how many international breaks we're having. This is getting too much now. It's getting over the top. Just bloody put the teams in the World Cup. For goodness sake, you know. It's ridiculous. It is boring, Ephraim. I agree with that, Ephraim. Very, very boring. I mean, I do watch alongs to the England games, but I'm not saying that they're exciting, because they're not. England played well the last game against Serbia, and I felt that it was okay, you know what I mean? And they won 5-0. It's just too easy, you know what I mean, for some of these teams. And England are going to qualify, Spain are going to qualify, France are going to qualify, etc., etc. And that's generally what happens, you know. I think there needs to be a different approach to the international breaks. I think that it does need to be, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, a different approach. Because I feel like they're just taking up too much time. Players getting injured, ruining our momentum. Twice now, Man United have won a game, and then it's been international break. You know what I mean? Thank you, Benny. Thank you, bruv. Thank you. Yeah, guys, don't forget to smash the like button. It's very important. I've had over 100 people in the house today. I should have 50 likes, guys. If you haven't smashed the like, Don't forget to smash a like, guys. Very, very important that you smash a like and get 50 likes before the end of the show, guys. Really, really important you guys do that for me. Really appreciate every single one of you. Guys, you know what? Really appreciate it. Joe, they should not do any after the season finishes. I think they should. Absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. I don't think it's fair on the teams. It's not fair on us. I think that a big part of Man United losing 3-0 to Manchester City was the fact that we had an international break before that. And generally, we don't really do well after the international break. It risks injury as well. I think, look, unless they do a mid-season break and they have an international break where there's like a month off for international games, I don't think that they should be playing international games every month, because that's what it is. Actually, we had one last month. Another one this month, and in November as well. I just think it's getting a little bit too much. And obviously, I care more about Man United than I care about England. You know what I mean? I want Man United to win football matches. I think Man United would have had the best opportunity in playing Liverpool without the international break than with the international break. You know what I mean? And I think it does put into question the morality of the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Big up Adam Wharton, Carlos Baleba. We need to sign him. Carlos Baleba needs to pick up his performances, Kevin. Big up, Kevin. Hope you're doing well. Carlos Baleba needs to pick up his performances, because one thing you can say about Adam Wharton is Adam Wharton don't drop his level. And I would love both of them, Kevin. I would love both of them, Kevin. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, definitely one of them would be great. But I don't think we're going to be doing a transfer in January, bro. I really don't. I think if anything, Man United will be doing a loan deal, probably a Ruben Neves kind of thing. I hope I'm proven wrong. But what I'm hearing, the noises that I'm hearing at the moment, is that Man United won't be doing any kind of January dealings at all, unfortunately. Ephraim, Sal, if you were the owner, what would you say to Amarim? Play players based on performances. Don't be scared to drop them. If it's Bruno Fernandes, don't drop them. Don't play Dalot as a left wing back. If anything, try and play the young players and stuff like that. That's what I would say to him. Yeah, and that's what I would say to him. Absolutely. Luke Shaw should be Aiden Heaven in the centre back. Play Aiden Heaven. He's better. Those are the kind of things that I would say, because I believe it is, and I believe I'm always forward thinking. I always want to see Man United doing things. You know what I mean, and thinking about the future rather than just turning the previous pages all the time. Because that's what it is with Dalot, Shaw and Bruno and Maguire and these kind of players. It's like we're turning the previous pages. We're not moving forward, if you know what I mean. And I think Man United need to move forward with certain players. We absolutely do, guys. We absolutely do. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. Really appreciate it, of course. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget, guys, to like the stream, guys. Don't forget to like the stream. If you haven't liked the stream, I read out everyone's comments. I appreciate everyone's opinions. Even if you repeat yourself and repeat me, I appreciate all your opinions, guys. Very, very much love to you all. Guys, I will be back later on for Chatterboxer as usual. Keep your notifications on whenever I go live, because I do go live sometimes as well, for other streams as well, for Devil's Digest sometimes as well. I go live. And if anything breaks, of course, transfer-wise, sacking-wise, anything like that, guys. It's going to be a quiet couple of weeks. Of course, I'm glad that we left the last game with a victory, because we got 2 weeks now to the next game for Man United, haven't we? And that's a disaster in my eyes. But we do what we do. Gary, stopping and starting the league with these breaks ruin momentum. Yeah, it does. And especially Man United, because I believe it affects Man United. I believe it does affect Man United quite significantly. Have a great day, Benny. Thank you so much, brother. Good to see you. And big up Ephraim, of course. Big up everyone in the stream, guys. Really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to support the channel as well, guys. You can become a member. Don't forget, it helps. Everything goes back towards the channel. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. See you later on. Have a great day. Enjoy it. And guys, don't forget to put your notifications on again and smash a like. 50 likes minimum. Take it easy, guys. Peace.